There are moments in life when you feel a sudden pull, an unexplainable whisper from somewhere beyond your current reality. You sense it in your dreams, in repetitive patterns, in numbers that follow you, or in the déjà vu that leaves you wondering, why does this feel so familiar? These are not coincidences. They may be signs that another version of you, one existing in a parallel reality, is reaching out, sending a message to guide you toward your highest path. When you experience the same dream over and over again or encounter a particular symbol repeatedly in your life, it is rarely meaningless. These recurring dreams and symbols are often the language of your deeper consciousness, and they may be gentle whispers from a version of you that already exists in another place, another timeline, another dimension. Think of it as a bridge between where you are now and where you are destined to be. Each image, each repeated pattern, each fragment of a dream carries a piece of guidance and a spark of remembrance and a call to listen more deeply. Dreams are powerful because they bypass the limits of the conscious mind. While you sleep, your inner world is free from the rules, doubts, and filters that normally shape your thinking. This is why dreams often bring forth images and experiences that feel so vivid, so real, and so emotionally charged. When a dream repeats, it is as if your soul is saying, "Pay attention. There is something here you need to know." Perhaps you keep finding yourself standing at the edge of a cliff, about to leap. Perhaps you see yourself boarding a train that never quite departs. Or maybe you keep meeting a familiar stranger, someone you cannot name, but whose presence feels deeply significant. These are not random creations of the mind. They are invitations to explore something beyond the surface. Symbols work in a similar way. A feather appearing in unexpected places, a certain animal crossing your path again and again, a number that follows you wherever you go. These are all forms of symbolic communication. They may come from your higher self, your intuition, or even from a parallel version of you that has already walked a certain road and now wishes to guide you toward or away from a choice. For example, a recurring dream of a locked door may reflect a part of your life where you feel blocked, but it could also be an image from another reality where you have already opened that door and stepped through to something new. By paying attention to that dream, by feeling into it rather than dismissing it, you begin to align with the wisdom it holds. To understand these messages, you do not always need to force a meaning upon them right away. Instead, become curious. Write them down. Keep a dream journal by your bed, and as soon as you wake, capture as much as you can remember. Over time, patterns will emerge. You might notice that a certain symbol appears only when you are about to make a big decision, or a dream returns whenever you are not living in alignment with your deeper truth. This is how the other versions of you communicate. They use repetition to break through your everyday distractions and draw your awareness to what really matters. Sometimes recurring dreams are not pleasant. They may carry fear, sadness, or even a sense of urgency. This does not mean something bad is coming. More often, it means that a part of you is asking to be healed or acknowledged. Imagine another version of yourself, one who has already overcome the challenge you are facing now. That version of you is reaching out, saying, "I know the way." Follow these signs and you will find peace. Even nightmares can carry this kind of hidden wisdom. They bring to the surface the very things you try to suppress in waking life, not to scare you, but to free you. The key is to treat every recurring dream and every persistent symbol with respect. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" shift your question to, "What is this trying to show me?" Feel the difference in energy. One closes the door, the other opens it. Trust that you are never given a dream without purpose. If a symbol keeps crossing your path, it is because it has something to teach you, something to awaken in you, or something to confirm that you are already moving in the right direction. Over time, as you learn to listen, you may find that the dreams become more vivid, the symbols more frequent, and the guidance clearer. This is a sign that your awareness is expanding, that you are beginning to bridge the gap between the life you are living now and the wisdom carried by your other selves. There is a version of you that has already healed, already thrived, already manifested the reality you long for. By honoring the dreams, by following the breadcrumbs of symbols, you begin to harmonize with that version of yourself. You step closer to the life that feels more authentic, more fulfilling, and more aligned with your soul's journey. There are moments in life when an inner voice rises so strongly that you cannot ignore it. It is not loud, yet it is undeniable. It whispers, nudges, and sometimes even shouts through your feelings. This inner knowing often comes as a sudden gut feeling, a quiet sense of yes or no, a pull to turn left when logic says to turn right. These strong intuitive nudges are more than random sensations. They are signs that a part of you already knows the path ahead. They may even be a direct message from a version of you that exists in another timeline, a version that has already walked the road you are about to take. Intuition often arrives before the mind has time to reason things out. You may be thinking about making a certain decision, accepting a job, starting a relationship, or taking a leap into the unknown, when something inside you whispers, wait. At other times, you feel an urge to act without knowing why, to call someone, to delay a meeting, to go to a place you had no plans to visit. Later, you discover that following that impulse led you exactly where you needed to be. This is how strong intuitive nudges work. They are not bound by linear thinking. They draw upon a deeper field of knowledge, one that spans possibilities and connects you to outcomes your mind cannot yet see. When a parallel version of you is trying to send a message, intuition often becomes the bridge. Imagine that there is a self who already made the decision you are facing now, a self who knows the result, whether it led to joy, loss, growth, or regret. That self, existing in another layer of reality, can send you a signal, a sudden feeling in your chest, a surge of clarity, or even an unease that makes you hesitate. It is their way of saying, listen, there is something you should know. The challenge is that most of us have been trained to dismiss these nudges. We are told to be logical, to follow the evidence, to make decisions based only on what we can see and measure. But intuition operates differently. It speaks in feelings, not facts. It speaks in energy, not explanations. It does not always offer proof before the moment comes. Instead, it asks for trust. The more you listen, the stronger it becomes. The more you ignore it, the fainter it gets, until life has to send louder lessons to get your attention. One way to recognize a true intuitive nudge is by its tone. It rarely comes from fear, urgency, or pressure. Those belong to the anxious mind. A true nudge is calm but persistent. It can feel like a gentle tug at your sleeve, repeating until you either act or consciously choose not to. It might whisper, wait a little longer, or reach out now. And when you follow it, you often feel an odd sense of relief, as if some part of you already knew this was the right step all along. Another sign is that intuitive nudges often appear at crossroads, moments when your life is about to shift. They may ask you to pause before signing a contract, to say no to an opportunity that looks perfect on paper, or to trust an unexpected path that defies logic but lights up your heart. At those times, a parallel version of you may be steering you away from a mistake they already made, or guiding you toward a choice that led them to fulfillment. You are never truly without guidance. You are simply learning to tune into it, to strengthen your ability to hear these nudges, create moments of stillness. Slow down, silence the constant noise that drowns out your inner voice. When your mind is quiet, your body becomes a compass. Notice how it reacts when you think about a certain decision. Does it tighten or does it expand? Do you feel lightness or do you feel a heaviness that makes you hesitate? The body often knows long before the mind admits it. Over time, as you begin to honor your intuition, something shifts. Life becomes less about chasing and forcing, and more about flowing and receiving. You stop needing every answer immediately, because you sense that guidance is always on its way. Sometimes it comes as a feeling. Sometimes as a coincidence that seems too perfect to be random. Sometimes as a strong pull in a direction you cannot explain. And as you follow these nudges, you may notice that your choices lead you to places where things feel easier, more aligned, more connected. That is because you are moving in rhythm with a larger intelligence, one that includes every version of you, every possibility, every outcome that your soul is capable of experiencing. Strong, intuitive nudges are a gift. They are not here to control you, but to remind you that you are never walking alone. There is wisdom woven into your being, waiting to guide you toward the life that feels true. There are moments in life when certain patterns keep appearing in front of you, almost as if the universe is trying to get your attention. You see the same numbers on clocks, receipts, license plates, or even in conversations. Maybe it is 11:11 every time you glance at your phone, or 2:22 shows up when you are thinking about making a decision. These are not random accidents. They are synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that carry a message. They are a subtle way the universe, your higher self, or even a parallel version of you uses to communicate guidance. Repeated numbers and synchronistic events are like a language that does not use words. It uses patterns to let you know you are aligned or to encourage you to notice something important. Synchronicity happens when your inner world and outer world reflect each other. You may be thinking about someone and they suddenly call. You might dream of a place and then see a photo of it the next day. You could be asking for a sign silently, and within hours, you find an answer written on a billboard or heard in a song lyric. When these moments happen repeatedly, it is not just about luck or chance. It is a reminder that you are connected to something far bigger than your current perspective. It is the universe arranging small details to whisper, "You are on the right path," or sometimes, "Pay attention, a shift is needed." Numbers carry vibrations. Since ancient times, different numbers have been seen as holding certain frequencies or meanings. For example, 111 often represents a gateway, a call to focus on your thoughts because they are manifesting quickly. 222 may be a message of balance and trust. 333 can be a sign of support and alignment with higher guidance. But beyond general meanings, what truly matters is how these numbers make you feel when you see them. Do they come when you are in doubt, bringing reassurance? Do they show up when you are feeling lost, reminding you that there is order behind the chaos? That feeling is the real message. When a parallel version of you is trying to send you a message, synchronicities can become more frequent. Imagine that in another reality, you already made the choice you are hesitating over. You have already walked the road you are considering now. From that place, a ripple of energy moves through time and space, nudging small details in your world so that you will notice them. It may be a conversation that confirms your inner knowing. It may be a number that repeats until you cannot ignore it. It is their way of saying, "Keep going. You are getting closer," or "Pause and look again." Often, synchronicities appear when you are at a turning point. You might be about to start a new chapter, let go of an old pattern, or open your heart to a fresh possibility. At that moment, the universe uses these subtle signals to guide your awareness. It does not shout or force, it nudges and invites. The key is to slow down enough to see them. Many people live so quickly, so distracted, that they overlook these breadcrumbs of light scattered across their path. Start by noticing without judgment. If you see repeated numbers, write them down. Keep a small notebook or use your phone. Record what you were thinking or feeling at that moment. Over time, patterns will reveal themselves. You might discover that certain numbers appear when you are doubting yourself, almost as a whisper of reassurance. Others may show up as warnings, appearing just before you take a step that does not serve your higher good. The more you pay attention, the more fluent you become in this quiet language. Synchronicity is also a reminder that you are co-creating your life. It is not just a sign from somewhere else. It is a reflection of your own energy aligning with a larger flow. When you start noticing these patterns, it is as if you are dancing with the universe, moving in rhythm with something invisible yet deeply real. That is why these moments feel so magical, because they break the illusion of separation. They remind you that you are not isolated, not forgotten, not wandering without guidance. Sometimes, people dismiss synchronicities as coincidences because they want logical proof. But the truth is, the most profound guidance often comes in ways the logical mind cannot measure. If you wait for evidence before trusting your intuition, you may miss the very signs meant to guide you. Synchronicity asks for faith, not blind faith, but open-hearted awareness. It asks you to see the patterns, feel their resonance, and let them gently shape your next steps. When you align with this awareness, life begins to feel different. You no longer chase every answer or force every door to open. You start to walk with a sense that you are being led, that there is meaning even in small, simple moments. A number on a receipt becomes a nod from the universe. A perfectly timed meeting becomes a doorway. A random phrase overheard becomes the answer you were searching for. Repeated numbers and synchronicities are a bridge between dimensions, between versions of you, between possibilities. They are a quiet way the cosmos says, I am here with you. Keep going. And the more you honor them, not by obsessing over every sign, but by gently listening, the clearer the messages become. There comes a time in life when you feel an urge rising within you, an almost magnetic pull towards something new, something that may not yet have a clear form, but feels deeply real nonetheless. It could appear as a longing to move to a different place, a sudden desire to change your career, a persistent thought of starting fresh in relationships, or even a quiet whisper that says, there is more to life than this. That pull is not a random impulse, is often a message from the deeper layers of your being, and at times it is the influence of a parallel version of you who has already stepped onto that path and is sending you signals to align. This pull does not always make sense at first. It may even seem illogical or inconvenient. You might have built a life with certain routines, responsibilities, and plans, yet something feels incomplete. The familiar starts to feel too small. The routines that once brought comfort now feel like cages. And while nothing on the outside may have changed drastically, inside you know there is a shift waiting to unfold. That feeling of being pulled toward a new path is the soul's way of saying it is time to expand. Often this pull shows up subtly. It can be a passing thought that keeps returning. It can appear as a daydream that refuses to fade away. You may find yourself fascinated by topics, places, or ideas you never paid attention to before. People might come into your life who seem to embody the life you are secretly drawn to. or opportunities may appear that are slightly out of your comfort zone, but stir something deep in your heart. This is how the new path begins to reveal itself, piece by piece, quietly at first. A parallel version of you, one who has already chosen that direction in another reality, may be nudging you. Imagine a self who has already embraced the life that calls to you now. That version is not separate. It is part of the vast field of who you truly are. When you feel that mysterious pull, it can be because that self is radiating its frequency toward you, saying, "Come this way, it is safe to grow. There is more waiting for you." This is why the pull often comes with a strange sense of familiarity, even when everything about it seems unknown. Many people resist this feeling because change can be uncomfortable. The mind looks for reasons to stay where it is. Security, predictability, the opinions of others. It may say, "You have a stable job, why would you risk it?" Or, "This is not practical right now," yet the pull remains. The more you suppress it, the more restless you become. And often, life will create situations to nudge you further. Doors begin to close in the old direction. Opportunities slow down. Or you find yourself increasingly dissatisfied with what once felt acceptable. It is as though the universe and the versions of you beyond your current view are conspiring to help you grow. Listening to this pull does not mean acting recklessly. It means becoming curious. It means asking yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? What part of me is ready for more? You do not have to leap all at once. Sometimes, the new path begins with small steps, a new course, a conversation with someone living the life you imagine, a change in daily habits that create space for a different future to enter. The pull is not demanding urgency. It is inviting alignment. As you begin to follow it, you may notice a sense of relief, as though you are finally moving in the direction your soul has been waiting for. Even if challenges arise, they feel meaningful rather than draining. Each step begins to build momentum. Synchronicities appear. Resources show up. The right people cross your path. This is the universe responding to your willingness to align with what is true for you. And here is a powerful truth. The pull is rarely wrong when it comes from a place of quiet knowing rather than desperation. Desperation pushes you to escape. True guidance pulls you to expand. That difference matters. One is rooted in fear, the other in trust. A parallel version of you is not pushing you to run away. It is inviting you to grow into a version of yourself that already exists, one that is waiting for you to merge with it. The more you honor these nudges, the more your life starts to feel like it fits. The dissonance fades, and a sense of purpose replaces confusion. You may look back and realize that everything you once resisted was actually preparing you for this path all along. What seemed like restlessness was a sacred message. What felt like uncertainty was a bridge to your next chapter. So when you feel that magnetic pull toward a new path, do not rush to shut it down with logic. Sit with it. Explore it. Let it show you where it wants to lead. Trust that this pull is not here to disrupt your life without meaning. It is here to align you with the life that belongs to you on a deeper level. There is wisdom in that calling. There is safety in that change. And most of all, there is expansion waiting for you on the other side of your willingness to listen. There are times when emotions seem to rise within you without a clear cause. You may be sitting quietly, going about your day, when a sudden wave of sadness washes over you, or you find yourself unexpectedly filled with joy, nostalgia, or even anxiety, yet nothing in your present moment seems to explain it. These emotional waves can feel confusing, even unsettling, especially when they appear out of nowhere and leave you wondering, why am I feeling this way? What if these emotions are not random at all? What if they are signals, messages traveling across time and space, sent by another version of you that is living a parallel experience? Emotions are energy. They are not confined to one moment, one body, or one timeline. Just as memories and dreams can carry a certain vibration, emotions can move beyond the boundaries of your current life. When you feel a sudden surge of emotion with no clear trigger, it may be because you are tapping into the frequency of a parallel self, one who is experiencing something deeply significant at that moment. Perhaps a version of you is going through a loss, a breakthrough, or a moment of profound healing. That energy can ripple through the invisible threads that connect all your timelines, reaching you in ways the conscious mind cannot immediately explain. These emotional waves can also serve as messengers. Imagine that a parallel version of you is walking a path you are about to take. If they have encountered pain or joy that carries a lesson, that emotion may rise within you as a gentle warning or a quiet encouragement. A sudden heaviness may be saying, pause. Look again before you step forward. A spontaneous joy or warmth may be saying, this is where your soul wants to go. The emotion is the message, it arrives first, and the meaning often unfolds later. Most of us, however, are taught to suppress or question these feelings. We look for immediate, logical reasons. Did I eat something? Did someone say something? Am I tired? And when no explanation fits, we brush it off or push it down. But the more we deny these emotional currents, the more we miss the subtle ways the universe, and the other versions of us, tries to communicate. These waves are not here to harm you. They are here to make you aware. When a wave comes, instead of asking, what is wrong with me? Try asking, what is this trying to show me? Sit with it. Breathe into it. Allow the emotion to exist without judgment. If tears come, let them fall. If your chest feels light with unexplainable happiness, savor it rather than search for a reason to doubt it. Often, by allowing the wave to move through you, you receive its message more clearly. Resistance only makes the current stronger. These emotional signals also reveal how deeply connected you are to the collective energy of your own soul's journey. They remind you that you are not isolated to one version of life. Just as you might feel the emotions of someone you love across distance, a parent sensing their child's pain, a friend feeling uneasy before bad news, so too can you sense the vibrations of your own other selves. It is an intimate form of communication, one that does not rely on words, but on resonance. Sometimes these waves come as preparation. You may feel a sadness that makes no sense today, only to discover days later that a chapter of your life is about to close. The sadness arrived first to help you soften, to help you release gently rather than resist. Or you may feel a surge of excitement long before an opportunity appears. That joy is a way of aligning your energy ahead of time, so when the door opens, you are already ready to step through. It is also worth noting that these emotions may not always belong entirely to you. Energetically, you can pick up vibrations from the collective field or from places and people you are connected to in ways unseen. This does not mean you are weak or overly sensitive. It means you are open, tuned in, capable of feeling the currents that many others ignore. Your sensitivity is a gift. A compass that, when understood, can guide you to live with more awareness and depth. The more you honor these emotional waves, the more fluent you become in their language. Keep a simple record of them. When a wave comes, write down what you feel and what was happening around you. Over time, patterns will emerge. You might find that certain emotions precede big changes, that they visit you as teachers rather than as obstacles. You might discover that your strongest waves often come when you are at a crossroads, helping you feel what your mind cannot yet comprehend. As you grow comfortable with this process, the fear of these unexplained feelings begins to fade. You stop asking, "How do I get rid of this?" and start asking, "What wisdom is being offered here?" This shift transforms every unexpected wave into a doorway. Through it, you glimpse the vastness of your existence, not just who you are in this moment, but who you are across all moments. You begin to sense that you are never alone in your emotions. You are part of a larger, ongoing dialogue between your many selves, each one wanting you to find peace, balance, and alignment. There are moments when you step into a place you have never been, meet someone for the first time, or experience a situation that feels uncannily familiar. A wave of recognition washes over you, even though logic insists you have no memory of it. This is déjà vu, a fleeting, often mysterious sensation that bends the boundaries of time and perception. Closely related to this are time slips. Moments when time seems to stretch, slow down, or move differently, leaving you questioning what just happened. These experiences are not simply quirks of the mind. They can be signs that another version of you is close, brushing against your current reality, or that your consciousness is momentarily aligning with a timeline you have already lived. Déjà vu often comes with a strange mixture of certainty and impossibility. You may walk down a street and know exactly what lies around the corner. You may hear someone speak words you somehow knew they would say before they said them. It is as though you are remembering the present moment as it happens. While science offers explanations about the brain processing information in unusual ways, there is also a deeper, more intuitive perspective. Déjà vu may be the echo of another timeline overlapping with yours. It is a brief glimpse into the vastness of existence, where your many versions coexist, and for a heartbeat, the veil between them grows thin. Time slips carry a similar energy. Perhaps you lose track of time in a way that feels more than just distraction. You look at the clock, and far more or far less time has passed than seems possible. Or you experience a moment so vivid, so stretched, that it feels like time paused just for you to notice something important, a thought, a face, a choice waiting to be made. These experiences, while often dismissed, are invitations to look deeper. They may signal that you are shifting between energetic states, aligning with a path that another version of you has already walked. When a parallel version of you is trying to send a message, déjà vu can act as a subtle confirmation. Imagine that in another reality, you have already stood in that place, already spoken those words, already felt the meaning of that moment. The sensation that you have been here before is their way of saying, "Wes, this is a turning point. Pay attention." It is not always about grand events. Sometimes it is the smallest choices that ripple outward into your destiny. A moment of recognition might guide you to pause before making a decision, or to step forward when hesitation would have held you back. Many people brush off déjà vu and time slips because they do not fit into the ordinary framework of time. But just because something cannot be easily explained does not make it meaningless. In fact, these are often the moments when the layers of reality are most transparent, when you are closest to the flow of your greater self. Think of them as checkpoints, places where your inner wisdom and outer path briefly align, reminding you that you are part of something vast, intricate, and interconnected. To work with these moments, start by noticing them without fear or overthinking. When déjà vu strikes, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself quietly, what feels familiar here? What am I meant to notice? The answer may not come immediately, but by asking the question, you open a door for insight to arrive later. With time slips, practice presence. If time feels odd, slower, faster, or strangely suspended, become still within it. Often, Clarity or inspiration arrives in those very gaps. Keeping a record of these experiences can also reveal their patterns. Write down when they happen, what you were doing, who you were with, what choices were near. Over weeks or months, you may see that déjà vu tends to arrive at moments of alignment, moments when your life is steering closer to your deeper intentions. Or you may notice that time slips happen when you are resisting something, as if a part of you is asking you to pause and realign. What is powerful about both déjà vu and time slips is that they remind you time is not as linear as it seems. You are not just moving from past to present to future. You are living in a web of possibilities, some of which are unfolding right now in other layers of existence. These fleeting sensations are your glimpses into that web, your hints that you are not confined to a single fixed path. The more open you are to these experiences, the less frightening and more meaningful they become. They stop being odd glitches and start feeling like gentle nods from your expanded self. They reassure you that you are guided, that you are not wandering blindly, and that there is a rhythm to your journey, even when you cannot see the whole map. So when the next wave of déjà vu comes, or when time bends in your hands, do not rush past it. Stay with it. Feel its whisper. It is a moment when the threads of your many lives touch, when guidance is closest, and when the universe pauses just long enough for you to remember. There is more to you than this single line of time.